Hello everyone, my name is Natasja Keijzer, and in my third video I'll show you a diagonal bob line. There's a nice graduation in it, and this keeps it a real classic. Are you curious how I cut this? Then watch my third video. Divide the hair into 3 sections. With the comb control technique, I cut a straight line. I don't want to force the crowns, and this technique is perfect for that. I project the outer part to a straight line, and for this I do use my fingers. On the other side too, you can now clearly see how I do it. Backwards and connect it to the central part in a straight line. Check both sides to see if you're even, and then move on to the middle section. As you can see, my passes are quite wide, but the important thing at the bottom is that my guideline is clearly visible. And as you can see, I clearly see my guideline, and I can just use the same technique as in the neck area. So, project everything towards that straight line so I get length increase at the front, because I want that diagonal line at the front. So once again, it can go to that straight line. Also, first comb down at the front side, then project towards your right line and snip off. This way, I get that nice soft flowing motion forward, which creates extra length. What is very important when cutting this line is the body posture. My posture is behind my client along the entire cutting line. I'm not standing next to it. Because if I stand next to it, I'm going too short and I want that extra length forward. The contents thus. So when you stay at the back of your customer cutting hair, you know for sure you're projecting the hair backwards. You also see that the head's posture is naturally upright. I don't let the client look down either. It's like this when the customer looks down. Those spices can. I always check the hair when it's dry. And you'll see that shortly later in the video. You can leave the dome as it is, it's already beautiful, but I want to add a bit more gradation to it. As you can see, I'm making a 45-degree part, and my fingers are parallel to my part. So 45 degrees too. I project my first pass directly backwards, but my second pass, as you can clearly see here, I can already bring it down a bit so that a heavier line is created. I constantly follow my guideline, because if you can't see your guideline, you might lose yourself in the cake. So really check if you can see your guideline shining through your fingers and join your next section to it. So cast it downwards at an angle of 45 degrees equal to your part. And so I deliberately cut my outer line first, so I know for sure that I'm not too cold. Briefly stand behind the eye, because I just know I must not cut the outer line, so that's clear for me. A mnemonic that I'm sure helps me retain the length behind the ear. Now you can also see that the guideline gets heavier. I therefore work with a fixed guideline. I project all the hair towards my line and connect everything to it. This shows how I've really built up my gradation at the back with a diagonal line to the front. I use the argan oil from the box. What I want is to bring out that classic smooth glossy finish. Well, the argan oil ensures I get that softness and shine in it. But I'm dealing with unruly hair, so I also dunk the mug in the box. That helps calm the hair down. Distribute well into the hair and then start blow drying. Pay attention, my daft one, the position is downwards. Because I don't want volume at the root, I really want my volume point to be on the curve. And also pay attention to the size of your brush. The longer the hair, the bigger my royal brush will become. And again, no volume at the root, only on the curve where you want it. Texture-wise, I do it on dry hair, always. That way, I can see exactly where it's needed. To ensure a smooth transition, I pick up a section and vertically cut through it. So I make it very beautiful and smooth. I break the line and get a very nice soft gradient. So pick up the strand, scissors straight in, not at an angle because then you lose your length, and let it flow smoothly. Now you can see it slowly again. Each time my scissors go into my pass, I close my scissors. And when I pull away, I open it up more. If you want to create more movement in the hair, this is a very nice technique. You take a horizontal pass and I work in front of my fingers where the tension is. With my scissors and a slight angle, I cut hairs loose in my strand. This creates shorter lengths in my longer ones. And the advantage of that is short hairs always push the long hairs away. Have you ever had a client where a section always falls out? Pay attention, this is a great technique. You take a thick section and divide it into 3 sections. Your hand goes in, as you can see. You get 3 surfaces then, and with your knife at a slight angle, you apply it to the inside, and with an ocean motion, you scrape a layer off. I'll show it again from the other side. So as you can see, the position of my blade is on a lighter side. Around the corner, I clasp my hands, and with a little C move, I remove the bottom hair. Just look, some hairs coming out from underneath. This makes it easier for the client to fall inward. Lastly, to give the hair a nice soulful look, I use Kisses Kira spray. With the warmth of my hand, I ensure that the last white blemishes are all nicely smoothed out, bringing out that shine even more. Here's the final result of my diagonal bob cut. As you can see, a beautiful graduation, and it remains a classic beauty. So I would say, greetings everyone. Cheers.